Chris, and I work with the homeless on a very regular basis down there, fulfilling any needs that they have that are within my power to do. Now, as far as somebody doing a walkthrough down there, I don't think a walkthrough is really going to be that great an idea. I mean, you can take pictures and go down there, and you're going to get the same effect. However, I've built a really strong trust relationship over the past half year, and if any of you would like to go down there with me, you can actually talk to the individuals down there, and I'm sure they would have no problem with that. So that offers wide open for that. But regarding the tent city, you know, you can build it, but will they come? First and foremost, the citizens of Elko that this tent city is being designated for are not homeless. A number of them have been in the same spot for 2 or more years. The average time of residence is a bit over a year. I've seen one Nevada state ID that lists the official address as tent next to 12th Street Bridge. Just because their homes are portable and made of plastic or fabric does not mean they are not homes afforded the same 4th and 14th Amendment protection as the homes made of brick or wood. The same protection is afforded their dogs and possessions. And I offer as Levon versus the City of Los Angeles, 9th Circuit Court, February 8, 2012, for language relevant to that. However, a home is not necessarily a shelter. A shelter has the ability to protect a person from wind, rain, and snow, etc. A tent is more often than not inadequate. From having read the minutes of the council meetings where a tent city was discussed, the only conclusion that can be surmised is that the object of the tent city is to move our most impoverished citizens from one piece of dirt to a worse piece of dirt. I have also heard snippets of Boise being tossed around as justification. If this is in fact reference to Bill versus City of Boise, 9th Circuit Court, March 7, 2013, language contained within states that a person is illegally camping if shelter space is available. That is a shelter with 4 walls and a roof, and that's contained in the language also, not a designated piece of dirt. Elko does not have a shelter. Incidentally, as contained in the language of Bill versus City of Boise, the court urged the plaintiffs to file an amended plaintiffs to file an amended complaint, where a second amended complaint was filed on February 25th, 2014. So the city designates an open field as a tent city. Does the city mean to enforce no camping ordinances upon completion of tent city, thereby forcing people to move there or face arrest? Again, look at the language contained in Levon versus City of Los Angeles. The city can do anything they want or try to get away with, but a tent city just isn't going to fly very far. Now, if a community of individuals decides to embrace the idea, then I would hope the city would assist, but that would be relevant only to those individuals and anyone that wanted to join them. You know, that's the case in just about every location that has a tent city. And in fact, it's not a question of a city establishing a tent city, it's a question where a city is trying to get rid of a tent city. I could find absolutely no reference where a city was actually in support of a situation such as a tent city. Not one, anywhere. So let's see, listen to our city attorney. During a recent council meeting, Dave Stanton, city attorney, said the issue of laws concerning activities taking place such as littering and public urination in terms of what we can and cannot enforce. The key thing is that we cannot criminalize homelessness, but we cannot also criminalize life-sustaining activities. If it is something that someone needs to do in order to live and there is no alternative available to them, then that cannot be criminalized, end quote. Simply put, just because something cannot be enforced in no way means that something cannot be done about it. A better solution is to start with something simple like 5 to 10 portable toilets and 5 dumpsters strategically placed along the river corridor. Initially, there would be a need for the same number of 40-yard boxes to allow for initial cleanup, and the guys down there are willing to do that. Absolutely. You know, it's something that's built up over time, and it's just like, you know, cleaning out your garage. I mean, it just kind of builds up and it gets packed up, and all of a sudden, oh man, it's that day comes that you got to get rid of everything. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. What Elko really needs is an actual 50-bed plus 2-family unit self-contained homeless shelter built with public funds under the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act of 1987 and signed into law by Ronald Reagan. CDBG grants and private funding from sources such as Joshua Tree. The means are available, but do we have the wherewithal to go to it? So, thank you for your consideration.
Also, too, Diane, did we get the full name and address? If we could.
That's all